Antoine shared the news of her boyfriend's death on Facebook, writing he'd never surfaced her to answer, yes, yes, a million times, yes, I will marry you. There are words not adequate enough to honor the beautiful soul that is Steven Weber. You know, I think it's interesting that you decided to kill yourself for your girlfriend, but
wow.
You know, try not to do things that are going to kill you. That's my belief.
Ugh.
All right. So, now we go on to, I think, yeah, that's the next thing we're going to work. Okay.
Okay, Amy Sue, this is for you.
What's for her?
If it's what I think you're talking about, it's what she's been waiting to hear.
All right. Amy Sue, will you marry me?
No!
No, that's not it. Oh, so this weekend was a fun weekend, and because I'm not prepared.
Yep, I started a new job.
Started a new job.
I did.
Debut with a music video. Well, that's not true. I made a music video before, but this is I made several music videos before, but this is the first time I acted in someone else's music video, and it was fun. It was very entertaining. It was very educational, and first thing I learned is that I don't know anything about making videos. So it was fun. It was, man, I had to get up early. I was up at 6:30 because we had to be there by 10:30, and I had to go through Philadelphia traffic, which concerned me a bit, but we made it on time.
Of course.
I had my meds I had to get before going there, and got a couple pictures of it. Didn't get a lot of pictures, but I got pictures.
It was really difficult to get pictures because of the size of some of the rooms, and, you know, we're trying to stay out of the way, or at least, you know, I was, but I still wanted to get pictures of you doing what it is you had to do.
All right, so we show up at we get there at actually
It was 10 o'clock.
It was 10 of 10.
Okay.
And I was supposed to be there at 10:30, and I got to tell you, this place was awesome. It was a really big house, and we get there and there's furniture all over the place. I was like, what in the world? Why is there all this?
Yeah, I know.
And then I find out that they didn't use any of their furniture. They brought everything for the shoot.
Do you remember where they got all the furniture?
A lot of it was donated, and a lot of it was Goodwill. No.
Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, okay, Facebook Marketplace. Well, yeah, that's true. That's yeah, they did say that. So we get there, and I'm greeted by the director, and immediately taken to my own room.
Yes.
That was awesome. This is a couple pictures that happened. A couple pictures of the room, and actually there's a monitor here, and I'm actually on the monitor, and I'm wearing a suit. Oh, not a suit. I'm wearing actually suspenders and a really nice shirt. And
after we figured out that the buttons for the suspenders were done wrong, and it wasn't our fault. It's just the way they handed them. They
had a seamstress on site, and that was kind of cool because this is all new to me. When you talk about a professional setup, I mean, there were a lot of people involved in that setup.
Yes.
And I had probably the biggest part in that whole thing, bigger than the band.
Yeah.
You know, I basically have the first probably third of the video to myself, but it was fun. So there in this video, or in this picture here, it's just a picture showing the monitor with me on it, and I'm on the other side of the room. They set it up, and then we got another picture here, somewhere, here, somewhere, here, somewhere.
Yeah, because these rooms were small. I mean, they were nice size, let's put it that way, but as you can see, there's always a lot of people around.
Right, and
So it's hard to, you've got your art department making sure the scene's the way it should be. You've got your director, you've got somebody running camera, you've got somebody on monitors.
your personal assistants.
Mm-hmm.
You got your gaffer, your best boy. We had a best boy electric and a best boy grip.
Okay.
So we had, yeah. So I'm on the other side. I'm on the far side of the room. You can't see me in this picture, but the people in this room are the director, the assistant director. There's the guy right in front is the assistant director, the one with the striped shirt, and I don't know what everybody did, but I just
She
know
was the seamstress. She was
Yeah.
in part of the art department.
yeah.
And I think the guy on the far right was one of the camera guys.
It was really interesting, and so they set up my room for how I'm supposed to do this stuff, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But just want to go over these pictures here a little bit. I'm waiting for the next.
You have your lighting and making sure that's
They
right.
went through a lot of painstaking lighting stuff. And here's another picture of me in the monitor. And it looks like, is this when I have the headset on? Looks like I have the headset on there.
It's possible.
Yeah. And okay, the next picture here is
Going slow.
this whole thing. Again, I wanted to replace this computer tonight, but
Oh, it looks like you jumped too.
I jumped one. I'm backing up now one. Come on, you can do it. Oh, Tamara, how you doing? It's good to see you. There's the limo.
Oh,
And you can see these boxes here. These boxes were part of the stuff that they were using for filming. There was a lot of heavy-duty equipment. You could see on the left, you could see these bright lights and stuff that they were using to shine into the limo area. They had it all boxed out from the street. Yeah, that's the word. But it was really it was a great experience. And
now I can tell you, when you guys were shooting the limo scenes, I'm sitting on the porch, so I'm out of the way. And
Right.
I'm sitting up there with a couple other people, and we're talking. I can't see in the limo. I can see the lights, but I can see shadows moving because of the way the lights were.
right.
And I had said to the one guy that was sitting up there with me, I said, you know what? I said, they are having way too much fun. I said,
We're
that is
acting.
not allowed.
We were acting. Then this is me in front of my TV set, and I'll leave it at this picture here because I spent the biggest part of my time there. Let's see here. It says she says I am wonderful. Knees hurt tonight, but otherwise she's all right. That's good. I'm telling you, stem cell replacement is the way to go with knees.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just really cool, and I've never worked with a more professional crew than this crew. This crew was so respectful. They were so awesome, and I've never worked in a place that everybody would jump in at a drop of a hat.
Oh, yeah.
And they would do things that they didn't even have to be assigned to do it. There was a part where, for instance, I'm throwing money up in the air, and when it lands on the floor, when we do the second take, I went to get some of it off the floor, and they said, no, we'll do it. And they did it. I didn't have to do anything. And then there was a part where things fell, and I'd go to get. No, we'll do it. You know, they did all of it. I didn't have to
And
do
it was
anything.
always, do you need anything? Do you need water? Can I get you anything?
That was awesome. It was.
It was.
I didn't have to do anything. They were awesome about everything. They fed us. They fed us 2 meals.
Yeah.
They, like I said, I had my own dressing room. I had my own, and I'd be in there, and they say 15 minutes.
Yep.
Then they come back and say 10 minutes. Then they come back and say 5 minutes. And, you know, they had everything timed, everything. We did my parts were supposed to go till, 3 or 4. And we were done by 1:30-ish. They were happy with my performance. It was awesome. It was just really cool. It was,
And I like the fact that, like, they would tell you what they were looking for, and
yeah. I didn't have a copy of the script. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know what they were going to
and
do.
it was always perfect. But they would do it to get more, just
Oh,
when
yeah.
they had a lot of footage.
They made me feel like I knew what I was doing, and that was not really the case. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I had left at 6:30. I was like, ugh. I was dragging. I was really dragging. It was a long drive. We got to this house. There was all kinds of activity going on. There was equipment everywhere, and I thought maybe I was in over my head. That's the first thought I had. But we were greeted by the director. He gave us our directing. He gave the personal dressing area. He gave me my wardrobe.
Yes.
Well, no, he didn't give me the wardrobe. The seamstress gave me my wardrobe. No, the Hannah.
She was the head art.
She gave me the wardrobe, and the minute I got the wardrobe, it had a button on the front, and I'm playing with. I'm picking it apart, and it popped off before I even put the pants on. And I'm like, I know I'm fat, but I mean, I got to put it on to pop the pants, don't I? And,
Nope.
but anyway,
They
so
fixed
they
it.
fixed it, and they didn't even complain about it. They were like, okay, we'll take care of it. They took it down, and
And it was because of that they found out that the buttons from your suspenders were
Right.
on the wrong side.
yeah, which
They
I
should
don't
be
know.
inside.
I never knew that because I don't wear suspenders.
The only suspenders I've ever seen had the alligator.
Oh,
That's okay.
That's your fault for staying up.
Hey,
Right, so tan and drink it, except the bar was in the way. The bar was in the way, so I had to pass it off to my right hand. But anyway, so the first time I did it, I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous because these guys are professionals. These guys aren't little wingding guys that just doing
plus
a
you're
video.
not even sure what a weight machine is.
I know what a weight machines. I have one out in the garage.
It's
take it
not
back.
used as a clothes rack either.
I don't have any clothes out there. I just have a weight machine out there. Anyway, so so I did the three. We actually did it a bunch of times, but I did 3 pushes, and then I stopped, and I looked depressed, grabbed the drink, put it in my hand, looked up, looked kind of like, oh, life is, and then I went like that, and I chugged it down, and of course I missed like part of my mouth, but they liked that, and before it shot, Hannah took the spray bottle and shot me in the forehead, and I'm freezing out there. It's cold out there, and we did that for about 20. I'd say a good 20 minutes or so. I don't know how long was I gone. About 20
About
minutes.
20 minutes.
But it was the first time he said, "That's what I want," and I thought, "Oh." He said, "Let's do it again. I want to get another shot, have extra shots and stuff." And then after we were all done with that, the guy goes, "Okay, now we're going to do a shot with just a shot with the second camera." I said, "Second camera? Oh, there is a second camera." And so we did that, and then one time I looked at the director while I'm doing this, and no, don't look at the director. I didn't realize I was looking at him, and but the thing is, when they're because they're telling you what to do as you're doing it, so you're working off of, because I don't have a script.
You have nothing.
I have nothing. I just am working off what, and he's saying, I sigh, and I did everything he wanted in the order he wanted. It was fun. It was like I was just really hoping I was doing the right thing, and then we did a shot of just a close-up shot of me getting the drink and drinking it. Then we got a close-up shot of just me getting the drink, and then we got we did all these little shots that they're going to incorporate into what I did. But I've never had somebody so positive about it, complimenting me all the way through it. It was like, man, it was like great. I could do no wrong, and it was great. And I can't say I did everything right, because there were things that he said, do it again, except do it this way, and that's cool. Hey,
that's what you needed. I
needed the coaching, because again, you don't know what they want, and that's why you have a director. And there was no pettiness. Everything was positive. Everything was positive on this whole thing, and it was like. You said no idea was stupid.
No, definitely not.
And it was awesome. Man, what a fun time. But anyway, so after the weight thing, we went back and we shot the first scene, the scene before the weight scene. So what happens is, the first scene, I'm watching television and watching the stock market, because I'm this successful business guy, and all of a sudden the stock crashes, and I'm like, oh no. What happened? And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I'm supposed to be really nervous and like scared and all that. And it goes from there to me weightlifting, and then from the weightlifting to me back in the chair where I'm eating all kinds of food, which I like that part. But here's the problem. We just had lunch right before that. And I was gassed up on this whiskey, which was not whiskey, by the way, but I was drinking a lot of it.
And puffing that cigar.
And they gave me a cigar. Well, they gave me a cigar that was a strange cigar. I don't smoke, but it was like a fake cigar. It was like a Hollywood
you
cigar.
Were not.
Yeah, it was really kind of weird, because I don't drink, and I generally don't work out with a machine.
You'll go past the gym and say hello.
Hey, I know what it's like. I've been by a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so so we had lunch. Then they did this scene where I'm supposed to be binge eating, which is normal. That is one thing I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I was eating this Chinese food. And part of it was eating. They wanted me to have it drooping out of my mouth and stuff, and it wouldn't stay in. It just like kept slipping out, because it was.
But they kept saying, "That's okay. Let it fall. Let it fall."
And it was all over the place, and then I went to clean up and said, "No, we'll do it." but yeah, then I had to act like this is what we were doing, and we're watching the stock market, and the stock market is horrible. Then a commercial comes on, and I have to you know what my idea was for the looking interested in something? I used the dog method, where they tilt their head and tilt their head the other way. And that's what I used for my inspiration.
Yeah, now that I think back, yeah, you did.
That was it.
What is this?
I kind of looked at like Buddy.
You're curious.
Like when Buddy does that little.
Yeah, he told you to look curious.
So yeah, that's what my inspiration was. The dog.
I thought it might have been the Farrah Fawcett picture on the wall.
That was funny too. That wasn't even in the video. I don't know why they even put it up there. Anyway, so I did that. I had to smoke the cigar that I was eating puffing on, and the food the Chinese food I was eating, and all that stuff. And they also had a hamburger sitting over there. I would have rather eaten a hamburger, but
hamburger, French fries, yeah.
Yeah, I would have, and they were real food. It was stuff they got locally, and I would have loved to have eaten that, because that would have looked a lot better than. Because the other one was vegetarian. Why would you get vegetarian?
Because there are vegetarian people out there.
Look at me. Do I look like a vegetarian?
I know. But I think the Chinese was supposed to be the fact that, even though you're successful, you still watch, you still kind of budget for food. And I don't know. I'm trying.
I don't know, but anyway, so I you know, it was cool. We did, you know, we had our food and everything, and it was funny because I was kidding around about I wanted water, and the guy goes, "I'll go get you one." I said, when he came back, I said, "No, I wanted the other kind of water," and he
Sparkling.
sparkling. He goes, I'll go get you one." I said, "No, I was kidding." He went. Everybody wanted to do whatever they could do. So.
And they, you know, some of them, when they weren't doing what they, you know, like, I don't want to say they weren't doing what they needed to do. It's like they had their stuff done. They were waiting.
Right.
They would come and talk to us as people and got to know us, and we got to know them. I mean, that's how you found out that Hannah was originally from Harrisburg. I mean, it was like, whoa, what, you know? Who would have ever thought somebody from Harrisburg, who now lives in Philly, goes to New Jersey to do work?
But if you're going to be doing that kind of business, you're not going to do it in Harrisburg.
Right.
That's just not going to happen. Anyway, so I do my part. I'm watching, and then this commercial comes on. Oh, before the commercial comes on, I had a glass of whiskey that I had just finished, and I not only shattered, it shattered into a million pieces. And I thought it cut me. I was afraid it cut me. I kept looking at my hand trying to figure out if it cut me or not, because it was weird. It was, then I watched this commercial, and I decided to call this number. I picked up the headset, put it on, dialed the number, and as soon as I dialed the number, a limo pulled up.
And what was funny was, I think it was Beth, the seamstress, when you had that headset on, I looked at you and I'm like, that looks weird.
Oh, then.
And she goes, why? I said, because I'm used to seeing you every Tuesday night with a headset on, and all you had was the microphone piece. You didn't have the earphones on. I was like, that looks weird.
Well, the other thing is that there were a couple times when we reshot the one thing. It was after I broke the glass. We had a glass on the table. I said, "That's not supposed to be there, is it?" And they said, "Oh." They left the glass.
Well, they also said with the headset scene, your microphone was clear up by your nose.
Yeah.
And Miss Green Jeans, I don't remember what her name was, but she and I both at the same time, like, he's got to pull that microphone down because it was way up here, and you know, I mean, even I know that. That was fun. It was.
And then the third scene is the limo scene, or the next scene was the limo scene. But the other people that were, I know they shot.
Well, they had some with Debbie,
but I don't think they shot the other girl. I think the other girl was Instagrammer girl. I don't think she had a scene.
I think she was just probably in this part of the limo.
Well, I think what they did was, I set the stage.
Yes.
Then they did a smaller scene with her where she was doing the same thing, getting the phone number and stuff. And the Instagram, you just assume she did that.
Right.
And then the band shows up. Now.
Wait, you said band.
Well, the band was really kind of fun, and I actually have a picture of the band. I mean,
Amy Sue's jealous.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you,
it was definitely an experience.
It was definitely an experience that I'm not going to forget soon, because I had such a great time. I think, where did I put the band picture? Here it is. Okay.
Now this is them out of their outfits.
Yeah, this is a band called Too
Close
to Touch.
That's it.
What it says right there.
Yep.
And they were in funny outfits, but this is not their funny outfits.
The
singer is the guy.
The one on the far left in his outfit. Woo!
Yeah, he's kind of a geek in real life, and actually we're all geeks. But the guy on the right is the singer, and
the one that I'm going nuts over, he's the drummer.
Is he?
Yes.
This
he
guy?
is the drummer.
Okay, that must mean he's a guitar or bass player. Anyway, regardless, I think he played everything. Actually, he says he plays everything, so
possible.
he moves. You know, he can play all that stuff. But it was just, oh man, what a great.
If only they were a little bit older.
What a great couple of guys. I really enjoyed them. They're becoming a Philly. When they next month or when they?
I want to say it's next month, but the thing is, they're originally from Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they just flew in just the day before. They flew in last Friday for this.
Right, and they showed up at about, I don't know, 6 or 7.
Yeah, I mean, it was just amazing. You know, they got to know us, we got to know them. They're, you know, the fact that we were all the guys are musicians. You know, they had something to talk about, and music and how they've gotten as far as they have. Mike's talked about his music. I mean, it was.
I gave him a CD.
Yeah, it was just so cool.
And they're good. They're really actually very, very good.
Yes.
They're on YouTube, and their videos and their music and videos and stuff are really, really, really good. They're going to come on the show. Actually, I talked to them about coming on the show. Come on the show when they're on tour. And I told him I'd love to come down and see him. And he said, "Well, I think we're sold out." I said, "Yeah, but I know some people in the band." So then he checked. He said, "Oh, we're not sold out." But I'll tell you what, the band Too to Touch. If you haven't heard them yet, you got to check them out because they are definitely a good band. I want to. I'm trying to hit YouTube. Well, come on, YouTube. They are definitely a very good band, and they actually, I mean, this is the closest I've been to talking to a current band, because I'm not really into current bands, but I checked them out, and I really, you know, the song that this video goes to, they are.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a good song. I really think it is going to be a good song.
Now, I will say this too. You know, after the band was there, they had called. The assistant director had called a safety meeting for everybody. Now, you know, he said, "Look, you know, there's something that we need to be aware of. If anybody has issues with it, you know, speak now. You know, let us know so we can work with it." And the one guy, he was concerned about what people from the streets were seeing, because, you know, you've got all these bright lights, and somebody, if they didn't know what was going on, may take it the wrong way. And they were like, "Hey, good question, good concern." They addressed it, and they didn't make him feel stupid. I mean, that's what that impressed me more than anything.
Right.
The fact that they're like, "Yeah, you're right. Let's address that. Let's just fix that." You know, I wish more people were in the world like that.
Right. Yeah. Here's a little bit of one of their songs. This is not the song we're working on, but I just want to give you. I'm probably going to get
that song. The one that you're going to play now is so me.
It's a really good song. I wouldn't mind doing a video for this song, but that's too late because they already have one. And it's just fun because these guys are not at all what you would expect from a band. They're like geeks, just like me. And that's why I thought it was fun, because they are kind of like me, but a younger version. And I really enjoyed the video too. The videos, I listened to all their songs last night. But these are the three guys that we saw the pictures of. And this is funny.
I told you that was a drummer.
But look, we use a green screen. They have a red screen to wipe out the guys, and everybody sees them. They don't see the guys behind them moving their arms, supposedly, you know, and the whole video's like that. But I thought that was an interesting video concept. That is the. I did. And looks like the guy lost some weight. The guy that was the singer, so probably from being on tour all the time.
Well, it might have been them orange camouflage pants where you couldn't see anything either.
Here's another. like I said, they're a good band. I really enjoyed them a lot. But it's kind of it reminds me of some stuff that's out there today. But it's original enough that it's kind of cool. And
I could see them being like the next generation of boy bands, because you've got NSYNC, you've got New Kids on the Block.
They're not boy band, because boy bands
no, they're not.
Dance and sing and don't play anything.
It's just different, you know.
I could hear this on Wing.
Yeah.
And but they also had some harder music too. I don't. This one might be the one. But the guy who was the singer, I didn't imagine him being the singer. He didn't really look at me. Oh, I guess this is only just the album. This is not a one of the songs, one of the videos. But I'll tell you, I think that they have a lot of good stuff. But it's a lot different today. Today's music is different than it was back when I was at age.
Yeah.
You didn't make your money off one song. You know, back then you had to make an album. If you didn't have an album, you didn't go to a label. And because they didn't want somebody's just one song. Today it's a little different because with the internet, you can make your money off of one song. Okay. However, one thing that we talked about was they got signed to a label, and the label will give you money up front and say, here's your advance. Well, you don't get that advance for free.
Right.
You get that advance, then they pay for your studio time, they pay for you. You're going to have to pay back the label. And what happens is a lot of the bands don't seem to realize. They said that, we got $1,000 to go. We are done with our payback. They've been working for free basically since that original initial thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas what I did was we funded our own label, or funded our own recording, and went to an internet label who distributed our stuff. Now, granted, we don't have the visibility that they have, and we would probably be better off with their visibility, but we get paid from day one for everything we do. They don't get paid from day one. They get paid they got an advance and all that stuff. Their way is probably better in the long run because they're going to make more money. One here, stuck on that one stream. That's really weird. It's stuck on what about the other one?
Hit their platinum record, we can say, we knew you win.
No, I can say I was on it.
Yeah.
So, that's even better. Okay, so am I frozen by chance? I think I am.
Let it go. Let it go.
Like
Wrong movie.
Well, it seems we froze up there by the looks of things.
Well, no, this says we're moving.
You're moving there. Okay, so just that one. Well, okay, now it's caught up over here. Okay, I was wondering because the system seemed to.
No, wait, I don't have a water bottle, so I can't squirt you. You can't be frozen.
It was a one in a lifetime thing.
Well, I know when we went to charge your car, they said, hey, we're done with you, and we're like, it is okay that we can leave, because I was going to go take the car and charge it myself.
Hey, I'm missing.
And
we're missing the.
I thought if they needed him, but they're like, no, go take a. Just go, do whatever you got to do. Go see the area. So we went and found a charging station, and we were able to charge the car and come back. I mean, it was really cool.
It was fun. It was definitely. Oh boy, that was definitely a night to remember, a week to remember, because it just had a lot of fun and a lot of things going on. So.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed. And then the assistant director, he sent out an email that, he wanted to thank everybody, and it was just a great group to work with, because now they did tell us that some of these people have worked together before.
Right.
But just the way they did everything together, and I know Mike and I both said this throughout the day to different people, that we were just impressed by it. And I mean, it was it was fantastic to see. I could honestly say if I wouldn't have seen it for myself, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah. I without a doubt would tell you that it was a definite positive experience, and I made a bunch of new friends today, or this weekend. And actually, funny story, I was putting everybody's name in a address book and address, their phone number and all that stuff, and email address. And when I put Hannah's in, I went to back out in Facebook Live or FaceTime, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to stop. I didn't want people. I didn't want her to think I was FaceTiming her. Man. Anyway, it was cool.
Well, we'll definitely, Amy Sue, we'll let you know when it's out, because it'll be something cool to see.
Believe me, you'll know. I promise you.
Yeah, it'll be on your Facebook. It'll be on mine.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And the fact that I could sit there, if I could find an open space where I could see it, I would ask before I do anything. I'd be like, can I sit there,
Yeah, they were really nice. They even let her eat out of the food that we had there, and it was great. It was, without a doubt, the best experience I've had in ages. It was just cool because all the people involved were professional.
Yes.
Everybody was helping everybody else. It just was a good thing. We knocked that thing out, and I really can hardly wait till it happens, till we see the end footage of things. So who knows how long it'll take to edit it.
You could, I know we were talking to some of them about how they got into this and how they, maybe it was. I think the one camera guy was a friend of the director or the assistant director, and he needed some help, and bam, he's there,
Sure. Well, it
was really
you take awesome. Your opportunities when you get a chance, and it's kind of like them saying, could you be there? Originally, I was supposed to be there at 1, then they backed it to 10:30. And I was like, 10:30, I got 2 hours, and it could be 2.5 hours, depending on traffic. And they said, we'd really like you to be there at 10:30. I got there at 10 of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And they thanked me for that, and they were really nice about it. And then they, when we were done with the main segments, they said, well, we need you to be here at 7:30. Next part is 7:30. I had a bunch of hours that I could waste, and I decided to charge the car, and went out and charged the car and came back, and then they did their parts and stuff, and we had lunch or dinner. Well, I guess it would be.
Yeah, it was dinner at that point.
And then we did we were waiting, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do next. I just they needed me later, and it was like 10:30 before we did the part that I think it was I think it was around 10:30 when we actually did the limo thing.
Yeah.
So
it was funny because if they would see me, and if you were in the restroom or something, they called me a talent wrangler because I had to make sure I knew where you were, and I loved it.
I got to remember that. I can't remember that term anymore, but I'll try to remember that term.
Hey, it's on my Facebook now. I updated it. I've got a new job. I'm a talent wrangler for Mike Trash's acting career.
There you go. Yeah, see, it's frozen again here.
Let it go. Let it go. Oh.
I wonder why that froze. Something's going on over there. But yeah, it was just a great experience. Actually, both of them are. Oh, that one's moving yet, though. You said it's still moving there, right?
Yeah, it's moving here.
Okay. So I don't know. I just had a good time, and I wanted to share that with all the people. So I'm gonna do some news. Stop talking about me. It's not all about me.
Yeah, right.
That's what I know. That's what I was told. So there's a new figure out there that you can buy if you're into figuring. You can buy the new Stan Lee 6-inch Marvel Legends figure.
That way, when you see all the other movies and you missed his cameo, you can hold that up in the corner of the screen and say, "There's Stan Lee's cameo."
Well, if it weren't for Stan Lee, you wouldn't have any of the.
That's true.
That's the thing that's cool about it, is that they have immortalized the man who created all this stuff. So, and since he died 2 years button. Okay, did that right. But yeah, it just it's nice to know that there was a small plane that crashed on the Susquehanna.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's because Tully.
Friday.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's got to be nothing scarier than being in the air and all of a sudden not being in the air. It's so. All right, we're gonna play that. I'm not gonna play it. Heck with it. All right, you can play it now, I guess, since I didn't have a choice.
That's Wessels, not to be confused with weasels.
I don't know. Might be. Oh, I hear.
It splashed down about a half mile from Fremont.
That trailer must be playing on here somewhere.
Of the runway at HIA, landing in a shallow part of the Susquehanna River just south of the Middletown
Oh,
boat line.
freaking A. First I can't get anything to play. Now everything's playing at the same time.
Plane is still in the water.
Hashtag it must be Tuesday.
Lady and her daughter were walking down the street here. They come knocking on the door and said something about
All
the
right.
plane in the river.
That's all it took for Jonathan Whitman to jump into action.
So I ran out and jumped on the
All right. The other one stopped now.
got her off the plane,
Whitman shot this video during the rescue.
made sure they were fine, and then I got the
Oh, I can't stand this. I can't figure out where it's coming from.
whatnot.
A brave act in what was surely a scary few moments for the
Oh, stop.
I was gonna say I don't have anything open.
I do,
About 5:15,
but I can't
inbound to
close them
International
fast enough.
Apparently had an engine failure.
There we go.
The,
Now we got
aircraft,
the one.
couldn't make it to the runway and had to land in the river.
dozens of rescue and emergency
Still hear
crews
more than one.
responded, staging at the Middletown boat launch.
Okay,
I
now we
think
know.
it certainly could have
Oh,
been
now the
much
picture's
worse.
going to be... Oh, come on.
Remains open as the recovery
I need to
process
fix this.
begins.
I never seen anything like it, and I'll probably never see
Up
anything
too
like
early
it
this
again.
morning.
You get up too early every morning.
Tonight, we are not
Yeah.
sure how or when crews will get that plane.
Oh, what now?
My house from space.
Federal Aviation Administration will be a part of the.
What the...
Not literally, but my life.
Where's it at?
Apollo 11.
It's got to be on this page. Or while you're running the other video. Anyway, you got the gist. Alright, now I got these other things running. Anyway, that was, now I gotta figure out this. Damn it. Oh yeah, okay. This is another one that... although I gotta we got zombie deer.
Ugh.
Let me see if I can find a zombie deer story. Now that the oh, this was good. This story was kind of cool. You know, I like those happy stories.
Right.
This Ski Round Top Mountain Resort
Oh, I saw that one.
is sold because they were also the owners of the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy. And somehow I think this story got mixed up with another story. Anyway, they declared bankruptcy, and anytime a pharma goes, that makes me happy because they often screw up other things. But it says here, the Round Top Mountain Resort in York County and 16 other resorts leaves the Sackler family, who made billions selling prescription opioids, to reap profit amidst increasing scrutiny over the family assets. The ski resort came 8 days after the Sackler family owned Pharma, the Purdue Pharma, declared bankruptcy. So the family was also majority owner of Peak Resorts, which sold 17 properties to Bell Resorts in a $264 million deal. The company's expected to get about $60 million from the agreement, according to the Washington Post. Purdue Pharma faces more than 2,000 lawsuits, saying the company downplayed the risks of OxyContin, one of the prescription opioids that contributed to roughly 68,000 overdoses. Do you remember wrestler Kurt Angle? He was taking several hundred of those pills a day. I take 3 a day. I can't imagine taking several hundred a day. You know, that's not this pharma's fault. But pharma's the reason that Pam died. Not this one. But anytime that one of these guys goes down, I'm happy. It made me happy to hear about this, because I just really unhappy about the way they do business. And so when I heard that made me happy. So I bet you this one isn't going to load, because it looks like this. I'll do this one instead. This is the feel-good story I want to tell you about. I locked the other one by accident, but this is the feel-good story. This is really neat. Third grade.
If I remember reading it, I could have skimmed through it, that they sent him on an errand or something, and they brought all the toys in, so that when he came back, all the toys were in the classroom.
That's awesome. They got pictures here of the stuff, and it's an awesome thing. Because when you're that age, I mean, you lose all your toys, you lose everything.
Yes.
You know, it's when you're older, it's harder to get to lose things, but when you're young, there's nothing devastating like losing everything you had. And I think it's awesome to think that these did that. You know,
And just think he's going home telling his parents, you know, look what my classmates did for me.
and then their parents have a yard sale and and he lost it again. Not only once, he loses it twice. So no, I think that was an awesome story, and I thought that was one I wanted to share because you don't hear things that are positive like that too often. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave kudos where it was needed. And as soon as this locks into Twitter, and we can do this and do it right, come on, we can do it. I just want to put these things so everybody else can see them too. But I may just give up on it because they're not going very quickly.
Well, then I guess, I just realized something. It is true. Once you've been in wrestling, your next career move is acting.
I'm far from The Rock, unfortunately.
Well, I didn't say that, but, it
Why didn't
seems
you?
like everybody... I might need to update my glasses.
Finally!
Oh, wait, I just did that.
Finally! The Dash has come back to...
And think about it. Everybody that has been in wrestling, their next move seems to
Not
be...
everybody.
Well, that we've seen. Well, I don't know.
Some of them go into bodybuilding.
That's true.
Some get out of the business altogether. So, I wonder what happened to Glenn
Glenn?
Osborne.
He's still around, I believe.
I remember he was going to retire,
Hold on.
and I don't know if he ever did or not, but he was one of the original ECW guys.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. He is living in Westchester. I know that much.
I mean,
I don't think he's real active on Facebook anymore.
I'm not either, except on Tuesdays. A lot of people are abandoning Facebook.
Yeah, because it's like I've been looking at
Next story. Okay, this is really cool too. So, Nebraska.
that's a state.
kind of odd. But I somewhat kind of am suspicious that may not have been a real pullover. I think that it, although he did it in April. Did you realize that?
Not until you said it.
But still, I sometimes, I kind of am suspicious that may have been a publicity stunt. And I just think, because look at the guy that's standing outside the car, looking back at the guy that's taking the picture.
Barney's taking a picture. Barney Rubble.
I don't know. And what kind of car? I guess that's probably an electric car. It kind of looks like a smart car.
It's a Fred Flintstone mobile.
Well, his feet aren't on the ground.
Well, just because he stopped.
It says here the Hanna-Barbera character who was... Oh, come on. Why? Decided to use the off-the-wall incident as an opportunity for a photo op. See, it wasn't real. Well, it says staging a scene. Yeah, a photo op staging a scene where Schwartz was pulled over and cited for speeding. So I guess he wasn't really speeding. See, I was suspicious. Yeah, I thought that was funny though. You're just
15 minutes,
yeah,
roughly.
So I got a lot of good articles. That's this one is good. If you're paralyzed, your biggest fear is you're never going to walk again.
Right.
Well, I'm here to tell you that paralyzed man hails feat of walking again with a robotic exoskeleton. This is with eyes that will help improve people's lives. And to me, that is awesome that someone has actually done a principle like we've seen in the movies, made an exoskeleton that works. This guy can walk. Now, it's probably too expensive for basic people, but if you take a look at that looks like something we would see in the movies. He's been immobile for years. Well, yeah, he's still, it's getting there. It's powered by brain signals.
Right.
It's to the point. It's not probably practical yet. Think about it. When we watched Star Trek, they had little communicators, now cell phones. When I try to move the exoskeleton, you just got to keep your eyes open and imagine what your leg is supposed to do. This is think about if he could walk using one of these and using his brain.
That's true.
That would, think of think of older people that can't walk, that they'll be able to take care of themselves just by. But it's going to get. You think about it. Unfortunately, I said American ingenuity. That was France, but that means that someone in France created it, but someone in America is going to make it better. But the thing is, it's got to get cheaper, and it's got to be, for it to work for everybody, it can't be the $6 million man. It's got to be, a lot cheaper than that. And somebody's going to come out with a cheaper version of it. They always.
That I helped redo the house for.
Okay.
And he's still paralyzed. He still does his therapy and everything. He's had stem cell stuff. And I know that they are slowly getting him back to where, he can use his arms and his legs, and I could see him doing this.
Right. Oh, sure. Sure, why not? I'm going to jump over here. Is this the one?
It would
Oh, yeah, here's something that you never would have thought. A teenager in College Place, Washington, planned a school shooting.
What? A teacher?
A teenager in
Oh.
College Place, Washington, planned a school shooting. The out. I know a lot of people that go to College Place High School, their lives would have been changed forever. Nicole only wanted to use her first name. It's devastating. You got to think about how devastating it would be if your kid was going to do that.
Yeah. Believe me, there's times like you want to protect your child, but you know what's right and what's wrong. And
turned in by his mom.
Tonight she's speaking out to our Jamie Yukas.
I know a lot of people that go to College Place High School.
Their lives would have been forever changed.
It's devastating.
She wanted us only to use her first name, Nicole.
I know I did all I can do and that I made the right choice.
That choice was calling police after finding and reading her son's journal. He wrote about attacks at school on a specific date, April 20th, 2020.
The anniversary of Columbine, which is freaky and kind of scary.
I don't know why kids are
very scary.
So into the Columbine
the journal
thing.
Went into chilling detail. He would detonate pipe bombs and use multiple firearms to blast anyone in sight and execute survivors.
I just...
Right.
She's very courageous. It's clearly very emotional for her. She loves her son.
And you really wrestled with making the call to the police.
Yeah. My son told them that he was into creative writing and that it was just a story.
Well, he's plotting to attack and kill people. That's beyond creative writing. That's beyond...
It's scary. That's what it is. I'd be freaked out.
This angelic-looking toddler is now 17. His mom says he
You know, it's stupid. But heck, you might as well live while you can, I guess. But there's no upside there. You know, so I just kind of think that people got to be smarter. Okay, I got a bunch of stuff. I'll try to pick the best of it. All right.
Let it go, let it go. Oh.
Let's see. Oh, there were some things I wanted to say, but I just never have enough time.
No, not we just spend almost an hour talking about the weekend.
Well, I started late too.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a interesting article. So Ford copies the supercharger that Teslas already have.
Oh wow!
And says it should copy its charging business model. Because notice the Lincoln Charger looks an awful lot like the Tesla Charger.
Mm-hmm.
And
different colored lights though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting how everybody was against these chargers, but you know, somebody had to lead the way, and Tesla did it. Now, and it says Lincoln's luxury brand released its charging station, and it's a clear rip-off of the Tesla charging design. However, I would say I wouldn't stop there and copy. I couldn't stop there and copy the entire supercharging business model. Ford's been tentatively moving towards the EV space lately. Now, it's funny because Ford really has stopped pushing their cars because they're the number one truck maker in the world.
Right.
So it's interesting that they're going to do an all-electric crossover with the Mustang that I mentioned a couple weeks ago with 300 miles on a single charge. Lincoln has confirmed that it's making an all-electric vehicle based on the Ford Mustang's inspired EV. So, I mean, they're really looking at the electric thing as the future. But it's taken them a long time to do that. I mean, I'm sure they'll catch up because they're a lot bigger than Tesla.
Right.
But they got a long way to go to make the market. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're getting anything other than a Tesla, you really shouldn't, because they've got the infrastructure already built across the country. Because where I look, you're within 20 minutes of a charging station.
That's true.
So. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I saw that and I thought, oh, look at this. Ford is getting in the game. But, you know, and a lot of the things are that if you're not in a Tesla, you're still not going to charge as fast as the Tesla charges.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing, because that's the key is the charging. If you're not able to charge fast enough, you're going to be sitting there for a long time. So, which else do I want to? I don't want to use that one because that's a video. Those are videos, and I mean, basically, if you don't have a good infrastructure, that's one of the stories I wanted to do that I was going to do anyway. But you know, the other guys are out there that share the EV stations. They have more stations, but none of them are. You know, they're not as fast as Teslas. So, all right, I'm going to let this thing wrap up, because this is frustrating not being able to access things the way you want. So I'm just going to figure maybe it's time to go. So, all right, I want to thank you for listening, and hope you enjoyed the show and the story, and the big story about the acting experience. And I got other things that are on the wrap. I mean, I was interviewed for one last week, and I'll probably talk about that in upcoming weeks if it goes through.
Okay.
So you already know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other things I'm working on. So, all right. Well, I want to take this time to thank you for coming and listen in. We're going to let it go and be ready to rock and roll. So, all right, here we go. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta push the button, I guess. Gotta push the other button, this button. Talk to you guys next week.